Picture a project manager. Let's call her Maya. She runs a team of 40 people and signs off on six-figure budgets without a tremor. When she says a deadline won't hold, nobody asks her to prove it. Her judgment is the foundation her entire department leans on. But at 1:14 in the morning, her house is quiet. She had with her partner hours earlier. Maya's professional competence exists in a silo, walled off from the one relationship where she needs it most. It creates a strange internal friction. The same brain trusted with a company's budget cannot be trusted with a memory that is only 4 hours old. You don't reach for that search bar because you're naturally anxious. You reach for it because someone systematically taught you that your own perception has no value. Clinicians who study this late-night scrolling call it reassurance-seeking. It functions as a safety behavior, prioritized entirely toward dampening a spike of distress as quickly as possible. Information gathering is secondary to the immediate need for relief. You are not filling a gap in the facts. You already have the facts. You were physically present in the room when the event happened. This diagram maps what researchers call second-degree information. It shows how a mind bypasses its own direct memory to connect with scattered, weak approximations instead. You scroll, hunting for a stranger whose loosely similar story can stand in for a certainty you can no longer generate from the inside. In the short term, finding that stranger brings real relief. But tolerance builds. The relief thins out each time, so the dose has to climb. One search becomes 5. 5 friends become a forum. The forum becomes a 2 a.m. ritual you would be embarrassed to describe in daylight. In these moments, you are hunting for permission. You are looking for an external authority to tell you that you are allowed to believe what you already lived through. Philosophers like Kate Abramson and Andrew Spear offer a precise framework for gaslighting that strips away popular culture interpretations. It is not ordinary lying. The abuse is a targeted attack on you as a knower. The manipulator seeks to gain control by destroying your conception of yourself as an independent locus of judgment. Take that literally. The target was never a single, isolated fact. The target is your standing to decide what is true at all. This is why highly conscientious people fall the hardest. Their desire for fairness is the exact tool weaponized against them. Hand a fair person the suggestion that they might be unreasonable, and they will audit their own behavior before they ever audit the manipulator across the table. This is what it looks like when the knower inside a person is coaxed down off the witness stand. A sharp intellect becomes a liability, convincing the victim to apologize for the very clarity of their own perception. You don't wear down an adult's trust in their own eyes with one enormous lie. You would notice an enormous lie. You do it by engineering hundreds of tiny, deniable prediction errors. Your brain runs on expectation. You expect a conversation's tone to match your memory. When this collides with a manipulator's denial, it creates a flashing mismatch. A healthy brain learns from mismatches, but under constant denial, it resolves errors by updating the wrong variable. It doesn't lower its trust in the external world, it lowers its trust in itself, which leads to the search that proves the training finally took. At some point, you stop investigating if your partner is toxic, and you start typing, "Am I the narcissist?" Think about the mechanics required for a victim to investigate themselves for the harm they received. The manipulator has successfully outsourced the psychological labor. The person harmed interrogates themselves in the dark, and the one who did the harming sleeps perfectly soundly. This doubt refuses to stay in one room. The hypervigilance that one relationship installed slowly becomes the operating system you carry into your entire life. You start pre-writing texts to your friends, deleting the drafts and rewriting them 3 times. You scan a coworker's face for a mood shift that isn't there. You apologize to a barista for a mistake that she made. When the muscle that says, "I know what I saw," has been worn down that completely, the search bar stops being a tool. It becomes a prosthetic, an external joint doing the heavy lifting for the human capacity you lost. You were never going to win an argument with a bad faith actor. What you are fighting to recover is your basic capacity to give testimony. Breaking this loop requires a specific structural switch. You have to move entirely away from crowdsourcing your reality and begin private record keeping. Keep a plain log. Write down only verifiable facts, the date, exact quotes, and how you physically felt. You aren't building a legal case against another person. You are cementing reality for yourself. When the doubt hits at 1 a.m., reading your own handwriting serves as the first outside voice in years that agrees with you without you even needing to ask it. The next move is putting down the armor. Stop assembling defenses, preemptively searching, and over-explaining your boundaries before they are even challenged. No is a complete sentence. And when you do reach out, reach for connection, not verdicts. Calling a friend to ask, "Was I right?" outsources your judgment. Calling a friend to say, "Tonight was hard, will you sit with me?" returns you to your own body, keeping your judgment where it belongs. Healing happens through 1,000 small refusals to bleed on command. It is a quiet, steady reclamation of the permission to believe your own life.